Yo, YouTube, what's going on? It's your boy Salvation Elite. We are back with another video, guys. And today, man, we're going over the best COD professional, the competitive loadout / class setups after CDL London. Obviously, in the past few weeks or maybe month, the competitive loadouts have changed quite a bit, and the meta has shifted with what type of attachments we're using for the M4, MP5, and what pistol pros are using in their classes. And with Modern Warfare adding in the CDL playlist, which of course isn't ranked play, but it's a good step in the right direction and pretty enjoyable and definitely a better experience for me in Modern Warfare than anything so far that Modern Warfare has had. So I've been really excited about that. But with all that combined, I thought it'd be important to do a competitive loadouts video, an updated one, because the last one was getting a little bit out of date, and I know people were getting a little bit confused with it just not being up to par with where pros are at right now. So with that said, let's get right into it. Let's go. So right now, the meta is pretty similar when it comes to the weapons. So the MP5 is the SMG that all pros use. The M4 is the AR that all pros use. And then the sniper is the only kind of variation where some pros are using the AX50 and some pros use the HDR. And then with the pistols now, because in the CDL, the headshot multiplier has been changed, all the pros stopped using deagles, and they've now started using the M19 as the pistol. So we'll be going through the class ups for the MP5, the M4, and the M19 in this video. So let's talk about the classes. So the MP5 class is pretty straightforward. Right now, this is what it is. It's the FTAC collapsible stock, the Merc foregrip, the 10mm ammo, the stippled grip tape, and sleight of hands as the perk. The only variation that there could be in this is that this is definitely the respawn class. So in all respawn game mode, domination, and hardpoint, the pros are using this class. And basically, all pros are using this exact class right now. It just kind of is undoubtedly the best class. The biggest thing is the Merc foregrip. It increases your hip fire, which is why the pros started using that one somewhat recently versus like a commando foregrip or something else. The only change that kind of makes sense with this class, like in search and destroy, especially if you're playing GBs like in 3v3s or 2v2s or even 4v4s, you probably won't need sleight of hand for most points in the round. So you could run the compensator instead, which is undoubtedly the best barrel attachment and definitely makes the MP5 a laser. So we'll go through over all the perks, as the perks are basically the same after we go through all the attachments for the guns. So for the M4, there's actually a few variations depending on how you want to play. And the first variation is a compensator, a Corvus, no stock, a commando foregrip, and then either stippled grip tape or a red dot. I definitely prefer the iron sights with a stippled grip tape because I think it really makes a big difference and makes the gun really, really nice. Like, this is my favorite M4 class. I really, really enjoy it. That's the gameplay you're seeing, is me using the M4 with this exact setup. The other variation is more of a main AR setup that you could definitely use. It probably even better in search and destroy would be an M16 with Cronin red dot, no stock, commando foregrip, and stippled grip tape. So you get that M16 barrel, which is extended damage, extended range, and hits a little bit harder at distance. At range, especially in search and destroy, you might get that pick that you might otherwise not have gotten while running the Corvus barrel. The difference is, in the past, people were running like knives or something like that, or the deagle. So now they're running the M19 pistol, and this is the setup that we got for the M19. With the barrel, you've got the Azhir Cave V extended. The trigger, you've got the lightweight trigger, which is pretty basic for pistols. Then the rear grip, you've got the stippled grip tape and the perk sleight of hands, of course. You've got an extra attachment, actually, which maybe you want to run extra ammunition or a muzzle or an optic. Those things can reduce your ADS time, so most pros prefer to stick with this setup, but it wouldn't be that unreasonable to run some type of muzzle or an extended mag of some sort as well. So when it comes to perks, it really depends on what you're playing. For perk 1, there's two options. You can either run double time or you can run EOD. Double time increases how much you can use tactical sprint, and EOD reduces explosive damage. So in search and destroy, if you're trying to rush or hit certain rush routes or whatever it is, get to a certain spot before somebody else, I do recommend using the double time. Obviously, you have to be aware of nade spots and being too predictable with that type of stuff. In respawn, EOD is probably the way to go, especially if you're playing an objective type role. EOD is always going to be the way to go. And in almost every other circumstance, EOD in respawn is probably the best option. For perk 2, you only have two options. Either you run Ghost or you run Point Man. So Point Man, of course, turns your kill streaks into score streaks. So if you're playing like an OBJ role or maybe a bomb planting role, Point Man is the way to go because you have extra ability to earn points towards your streaks. It does increase the cost of streaks, so really it plays pretty similarly. But if you're playing with no GAs and you're not using special streaks and you're using actual kill streaks, then I would say Point Man's the way to go, especially in respawn. But in Search and Destroy, if you're not the bomb carrier, I would say running Ghost is a better option. And of course, if you're playing with specialist streaks, then just run Ghost. Perk 3, usually tune-up is the best option. I mean, you definitely can run Battle Hardened, but it's not as effective in this game. Most pros will generally run tune-up because it's just so much better for like Dead Silence and for trophy systems. And so basically, almost everyone's running tune-up. And then when it comes to your stuns and your nades, usually in Search, people run the stuns because it can slow down your rush routes if you get hit by them, and it just freezes you in one spot. In Respawn, you can maybe run flashes. In my opinion, stuns are a little bit better overall anyway, so I usually run stuns. When it comes to nades versus Semtexes, basically the only difference is whether you're playing Search or if you're playing Respawn. In Search, you use frag grenades because you can cook them, bounce them off things. They explode in different angles, so they're just more flexible. In Respawn, Semtexes are better because you can throw them, stick them in the corner, they explode faster, and they're just a little bit easier to control. So that's basically the only difference when it comes to those two options. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. This is literally what all pros are using, is these variations. They are 100% undoubtedly the best competitive classes. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys did, like, comment, favorite, subscribe. I really do appreciate that. Follow me on Twitter if you guys haven't already. The link is down in the description. And overall, your support just means a lot to me. But as always, guys, I'm Boris Elite, and we'll see you next time. I'm out.